Joining us now is a man who was a two-time Pro Bowler when he was in the NFL, flying around the football field. Now, he's just the head coach of the Houston Texans, a team that this past weekend went into Cincinnati and got a massive win on a walk-off field goal. Ladies and gentlemen, Alabama legend, DeMeco Ryans. Yeah. How are you, Coach?
Doing great, man. How you guys doing?
Man, I'll tell you what, not as great as a rookie head coach who has C.J. Stroud as their quarterback. Huh? Hey, this got to be great. This got to be good to have C.J. Stroud playing the way he's playing. How has that affected, obviously, your rookie head coach season? And did you or could you have ever expected C.J. to be able to do what he's doing right now, Coach?
Yeah, C.J. is doing an outstanding job, as everyone's seen. The most important thing is how he's, won the locker room. And the way the guys behind him, right, the way they fight for him, they want to play for him. He's exuded that confidence, and I think his confidence has rubbed off on our entire team, right? And that's what you have to have at that quarterback position, a guy that everybody in the organization, a guy that everybody in that locker room believes in, and that's what CJ has been proven over the past couple weeks, that he's a guy that you can believe in.
Go ahead, AJ.
Did you guys, I assume you guys were in on that early. You knew his leadership abilities and what he was able to do and get the team behind him, but that wasn't always like the narrative from the public. And we know like there's all kind of disinformation always thrown out there. But is he just reinforcing, I guess, what you guys kind of knew when you drafted him?
For sure. As we go through the process, right, we take a thorough look. So it's talking to all his coaches, right, people that have been with him. And the most important thing for me is throughout the combine process is talking to all of his teammates. And you hear, how much they respected CJ, how much love they have for CJ. You hear the great things that CJ did as a leader for his offensive line and for all the guys that were around him. That's what really stood out to me throughout that process. And that he was, without a doubt, that's a great leader.
Let's talk about some of these weapons that CJ has that maybe we didn't know about. Noah Brown, Nico, obviously Tank Dell's doing his thing. And you're obviously head coach now, so you're everywhere, known to be a defensive genius whenever you're DC with the Niners. But when you think about this offense with a bunch of players that we didn't really know who the hell they were. They've exploded here, and they don't blink, Coach. Hey, Nico wasn't playing, but Joe Burrow and the boys march right down the field. You're in Cincinnati. It's almost like these dudes don't know what they don't know, or are they just the right type of guy? Because there was never a doubt from any of them, it felt like, on Sunday, and that has happened numerous times through this season thus far for you.
Yeah, they're just the right type of men, I think, and how we work. It doesn't matter, right, who gets to shine. Everybody just wants to win. So whenever your number is called, all our guys are ready. They're prepared for the moment. Nobody is stressing in the moment. But when they get the opportunity, right, CJ is delivering the ball. No matter who's open, they know they can get an op. And Noah has shown up. I mean, he's had a career day versus the Bucs, and he comes back and he has another career day, right, versus the Bengals. Noah has shown up. He's been consistent since day one for us. Tank showing up, being an explosive playmaker. Nico, right, he's been explosive. So all those guys, they've been working this way, right, in the dark where nobody else has been watching them. I've been seeing it since OTAs, how consistent our wide receiver room has been. And not only in the passing game, what sets our guys apart is their willingness to get in there and get the nose bloody when in the running game. And that's what I love most about our receivers.
You're talking about, what a crew. It'd be great to have. Hate that you're in the AFC South.
Tough.
Absolutely hate it. But you talk about seeing those guys working behind closed doors since OTAs. Let's talk about you. Obviously, rookie quarterback is having an incredible job. People forget rookie head coach. Been a player, been a coordinator. Now you're head coach, 10 weeks into the regular season. Comfortable figuring it out, schedule-wise, everything all the bullshit that comes across your desk now? Like, is that a thing? Like, what has it been like being a head coach here? Now, granted, it's better when you're winning, I would assume, but your team has done fantastic. You're seemingly handling it with ease. What has it been like to be a head coach now?
Yeah, a lot better when you're winning, for sure. So that part has been good. But everything is we're just hitting our stride. I think, I'm more comfortable in the role. I think just all collaboratively, everyone around me has just helped out. We've all worked well together. Coaching staff has done an unbelievable job of getting their players ready to go each and every week. So I'm just really thankful for my staff and the work that they put in. They deserve all the credit because they've done an unbelievable job.
How do you feel obviously you were a coordinator, so you've coached before, but like we're seeing Antonio Pierce right now, really the locker room loves him immediately. And I think being a former player, your resume, especially you, two-time Pro Bowler, Antonio Pierce, Super Bowl champion, legend, it's like your resume is already figured out, so guys just like are naturally going to follow you. What is your coaching style? And do you believe that because you're a former player, it has helped you immensely in this role that you have now?
Yeah, with my style, man, I want to be energetic. I want guys to understand, man, football is supposed to be fun. It's not going to be something you dread. It's hard enough, right? The game that we play is hard enough. So I want guys to, first off, be themselves, right? They can relax, they can be themselves and have fun playing the game. And that's what I wanted to, showcase the most for me being a former player, understanding how hard it is. Like you can have fun, man, playing ball, and it's even more fun when you win. But I really want guys showcasing their personalities. Don't want anybody walking on eggshells when they're in the locker room. I want guys having fun, I want guys clowning around, having fun with each other. Then when it comes time to being on the field, doing your job, being where you're supposed to be, man, be accountable, do what you're supposed to do, but have fun doing it.
Got to have the right people to have that culture. Feels like you guys found it quickly. Congrats to you. We're loving watching it all. Darius has a question for you, DeMeco.
Yeah, sure. Coach, so obviously you've been a coordinator before you got the head coaching gig, and there's been some conversation about around the league about some different coordinators going to the sideline as opposed to being in the press box offensively and defensively. What are some of the pros and cons of either call? You talked about energy. Obviously, I feel like you can feel that a little more on the sideline, but what are some of the pros and cons of calling it from the box and on the sideline as a play caller?
And for me, just being a former player, always being on the sideline, there's just a unmatched energy that you feel on the sideline, and being able to communicate with your players instantly, right when they come off the field. If something happened, good or bad, I can congratulate my guys. I can praise them. I can celebrate with them. If something negative happened, I can correct them right in that moment. So I don't have to have them getting on the phone or getting on the headsets. I can correct them right in that moment, and I can praise them in that moment. I think for guys who've been in the booth, I think it's a calming atmosphere for play callers, right? It's not chaotic up there. They can really lock in and focus on the play calls. But for me, I'm a man of I'm a player at heart, so I need to feel that energy. I want to be down there with my guys, and I want to give them all the energy I have as well.
Just as a complete dipshit in this whole football world, I didn't even start thinking about it until the Matt Canada move in Pittsburgh. It's like all the things you lose out on being up in that booth. Like, how about just looking in a guy's eyes and be like, oh, this dude, hey, feels like this guy today is a different dude than he was maybe during the week. It's like that type of energy and vibe you can't get anywhere else. How have you enjoyed the sideline? You got a lot more say down there now. You know what I mean? Head coach.
I've enjoyed it, man. And you hit it on the head right there. If a guy is in a funk, like, man, you can say those words, you see it instantly. So you can say, some encouraging things to him to snap him back, right? So he can go out and have a better series the next time out. But those are the things that I truly enjoy. Right. And I enjoy most, like when guys make plays, man, I want to be there to celebrate my players because I know how hard it is to make plays in this league.
Yeah, it's a big deal, too, when the head coach is out there celebrating. Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Coach, everyone always talks about Taysom Hill kind of being the, Swiss Army, the best Swiss Army knife in the NFL. He can do so many things. But you guys have Dare Ogunbowale, I believe is how you pronounce his name.
Yep, nailed it.
We saw him a couple weeks ago having to fill in when Fairbairn went down. Couple touchbacks, made a field goal. Just curious, what was his max distance that you guys were comfortable with him kicking? And then also we saw this last week him having a massive hit on kickoff. Has that been something you guys have known about him the entire time you've had him? Like that this guy can basically go out there and do anything that we ask him to do on the football field? And do you think there's anyone else like him in the NFL?
Yeah, Dare, man, he's been very reliable, but you knew that throughout training camp, right? We practiced some kicks with him in training camp, so you always have those guys. You try to see who can be an emergency kicker for you. So Dare is one of those guys with his soccer background. He stepped in and did a really nice job for us. I think his max range was right where we kicked it. That was his max. It was right on time right there. Then, well, like you said, Dare does a great job in his special teams role. He stepped up last week, man, 2 big hits on kickoff team. He does a outstanding job protecting on the punt team. But it's those guys right in the league, those guys who take that special team role and they take it serious and they're the true captains of your special teams unit. Those guys matter. And Dare, he's been outstanding for us.
Coach, you fair catching kickoffs?
If we have to, we will.
Come on.
Oh, Coach.
Coach, we can't do it. We can't, even if it benefits your team. You can't, you get the ball at the 25 with CJ Stroud, I get it. Okay, and all those weapons you do. But if you let this happen, Coach, I know it's your first year, what are they going to take next?
Exactly.
What are they going to take next? We can't let that happen to the game.
Yeah.
We got to keep it a physical game. You agree with that? Or like the special teams of it, how do we kind of.
They had a fullback take one back this year too, right?
Yeah, down the side. Yeah.
When we get an opportunity, now we'll make you pay. If we get an opportunity, we'll just release our secret weapon there, Andrew Beck. We want to make something happen on the kickoff return team.
Special teams is wild right now. I appreciate the fact that you guys have great specialists. I appreciate the fact that you have a young core that seems to be very mature. And we're loving watching your rookie season as a head coach down there in Houston. Before we let you go, obviously we have to ask you about the elephant in Houston Texans right now organization. Denzel Perriman has been suspended 3 games for hits that have occurred during football games. The last one was against Jamar Chase. I guess there's been a couple others in the past. You guys he's going away from the team for 3 weeks now. Not allowed to be in the building, I believe, because of a suspension. What will you say to him before this, and how does that conversation go if you've already had it?
Yeah, I've spoken with Denzel. Tough conversation, and he knows it, man. We hate to lose, all right, a good player for us, a starting linebacker for us, and we'll just let the process play out. It's just, it's hard. But we're hard news to hear, but we'll have our young guys stepping up, ready to go.
I think he's losing like $380,000 in game checks. I mean, it's a big deal, but obviously the NFL put in their suspension this morning. We can't wait to see how you guys maneuver around it, navigate an incredible season that can still be had. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach DeMeco Ryan.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Coach.